Do you think these are virtual or trivial risks? This is not the point of view of financial actors. Following the 2008 collapse, the Financial Stability Board was set up by finance ministers and central bank governors to protect the world's economy from financial crises. Mark Carney, its chairman and Bank of England governor, was the first in 2015 to officially warn insurance companies, banks and investors about the three critical climate risks looming over the companies they invested in: being sued, missing the boat, and suffering direct physical impacts of climate change. In 2015, G20 countries also commissioned the Task Force on Climate Disclosure, TCFD, to provide tools and guidelines for companies to disclose their exposure to climate risks. The methodologies developed by these experts focus not only on a company's carbon footprint, but also on its future energy strategy to manage climate risks and align its model with a 2 degrees centigrade pathway. They also recommend that companies use different scenarios to analyse their strategy and risks in a 2 or 4 or 6 degree world. According to these experts, nearly $2.3 trillion in stock market values are at risk. These groundbreaking initiatives reveal and support an unprecedented mobilization of the financial and insurance spheres in favor of reorienting financial flows from climate-incompatible assets towards low-carbon, climate-resilient investments. In other words, from brown to green. And this is not only wishful thinking. To ensure their requirements are met, investors demand ever-increasing transparency on how companies identify and manage their climate risks, and what their strategy will be regarding climate change. The Climate Action 100+ Coalition, for example, brings together 310 of the world's biggest investors, who are collectively managing more than $32 trillion, 1.5 the size of US GDP in 2017, and who have committed to ask the companies they invest in what is their strategy in terms of climate change and climate-related risks. Shareholders' engagement coalitions open up the possibility of being held accountable by investors, with possible sanctions such as divestment or sanction of the board's remuneration. In May 2018, Exxon shareholders massively adopted a resolution imposing greater transparency on management of the company's 2 degrees centigrade strategy. And the European Union is opening the way for emission savers to take their asset managers to court for promoting investments contrary to climate protection and the environment. Access to finance may also become more expensive for new projects that do not take these risks into account. Banks and investors have started to incorporate climate criteria into their investment processes. At the same time, investors can support companies in their transition. Green finance, for instance, can facilitate adaptation and resilience projects with specific tools, such as the Land Degradation Neutrality Fund, created by the UN and Mirova, and specialised in projects for the rehabilitation and prevention of land degradation. This fund, launched in 2017, will progressively invest $300 million. At the end of the day, we are entering a new world in which climate action from big companies is expected and carefully watched.